most of you, I believe there is peace, and perhaps more, waiting for you after the smoke clears. Although for one of you, the darkest pit of hell has opened to swallow you whole.
I love all of the Game Boy Advance Mega Man games. Okay, I love most of them. Mega Man Battle Network 2 was sick! On this system, another Mega Man series was born from the ashes of the X series, Mega Man Zero. Mega Man Zero is considered to be one of, if not the best, out of the entire franchise. But is that really true? Let's find out. Mega Man Zero was released on April 26, 2002 for the Game Boy Advance. It was later released for the DS in the form of the Zero Collection in June 2010, and on the Wii U Virtual Console in October 2014. And then on all modern hardware in the form of the Legacy Collection in February 2020. The game received mostly positive reviews, with most calling it one of the best games of the Game Boy Advance. Many people pointed out the game's excellent sprites, music, and satisfying gameplay, but also pointed out its rather unforgiving difficulty. It has been over 100 years since the final package of Sigma's evil doings. After his defeat, X created a utopia known as Neo Arcadia. After X ceased leadership, CL, a young, brilliant scientist, created a copy of X to be the new leader of Neo Arcadia. Unfortunately, the heads of Neo Arcadia that X hired off of Facebook Marketplace have begun falsely labeling innocent Reploids as Mavericks. Thus, a resistance force, known as the Resistance, how clever, was formed by CL. One day, as CL and her gaggle of resistance soldiers were being hunted by a gang of thugs, they stumble across an ancient ruin, untouched for at least a century. After some death, the gang discovers a robot lying in the ruins. They reawaken him and find out that this robot is the legendary Maverick Hunter Zero. Zero immediately jumps to battle and starts kicking ass. After returning CL and what's left of her entourage to the Resistance base, Zero agrees to be CL's errand boy and take down Copy X. First, Zero must take down the 4 guardians of Neo Arcadia: Sage Harpooya, Fighting Fenfear, Fairy Leviathan, and F***wad Dickballs. Then, he must infiltrate damn, I cannot say that. Then, he must infiltrate Neo Arcadia and head to the core. In the core of Neo Arcadia, Zero finds Copy X awaiting him. X, this is not how people want to live their lives. Your idea of peace is a joke. That's enough of your Reploid propaganda, Zero. Propaganda? How about I take a propaganda at those tits? Zero runs to Copy X and promptly gives him an atomic wedgie and squeezes his balls until blood leaks into his scrotum. Wow. That was very easy. That's like the easiest boss fight in the entire game, and it's the last one. The real X then thanks Zero for his work, and tells Zero that he wishes to rest in peace for a while. Credits roll as Zero begins to kick more ass, leading into the second game. Mega Man Zero is... I don't really know how to put it into words, so I won't. Let's talk about the most important part of any game, the gameplay. If you want the best experience with the controls, play the recently released Legacy Collection. Sure, you could go with the DS Collection if it's all you have, but if you want the option, don't play the original. The controls just don't fit a Game Boy Advance. Who the hell thought it would be a good idea to press multiple buttons to use a weapon? Try doing this shit in game. Try firing the Buster by pressing 2 buttons at the same time. But if you do want to play with reasonable controls, actually controlling Zero is quite fun. It's easy to pick up, but that's about it. This game is a bitch to even complete. Jeez Louise, this game is difficult. I would say I'm considerably good at video games, and even I struggled a ton completing this game. Oh shit, I thought he stopped doing the thing! I thought he was gonna do that thing! This is bullshit. This is the first boss. There wasn't an easiest or hardest level for me. They were all the hardest, especially ones like the Harpooya and Phantom missions. Dumbass. cannot believe this. There's no way I am this bad at this game. These missions want to make me catch bricks with my teeth. Might I express my hatred for this devious fuck? I can't stand this shit-stained boner beater. If there were an award for the world's biggest chode, I think it would have to be this guy. And in Mega Man Zero 2, when you defeat him, he just straight up explodes. And if you don't know you're supposed to run away, which the game gives no prior indication of, you just die instantly. His face even looks punchable. Thankfully, you have access to Cyber Elves, which can do many things, such as heal you, destroy enemies, and cut boss health bars, among other things, which make the game less of a rage fest. If I had to rank every Mega Man game in terms of difficulty, Mega Man Zero would definitely be high on this list. Of course, we can't overlook this game's visuals and sound, and it does a very good job with both. The sprites look very well made, and they're super smooth in-game. The music is pretty good, but not as good as the rest of the Zero or Battle Network games like Zero 4, which, in my opinion, has the best soundtrack in the entire Zero series. Imagine what these songs would sound like if the Game Boy Advance's sound chip wasn't made of shit stitched together with duct tape. And now, the story. The Mega Man franchise as a whole was never too story-focused. Mega Man fights Dr. Wily 11 times, X fights Sigma 8 times, and even then, there are a ton of inconsistencies throughout the plot. Mega Man Zero was written with the fact that X5 was the last X game in mind. However, the Mega Man Zero games had a lot of story packed into them, and good ones at that. The Zero series also resulted in some of the hardest, most raw lines in all of Mega Man. I never cared about Skibidi Toilet, and I don't recall ever calling myself a Sigma. I have always only edged for the fan attacks I believe in. I won't goon. If a yacht appears in front of me, I will riz it. Zero, what the hell are you talking about? X and Zero aren't the only ones from the X games that have influenced the Zero series. In the Stop the Hacking mission, where you fight Fairy Leviathan, you can spot the Repliforce logo on the submarines. According to the Mega Man Zero official complete works, the main antagonist was supposed to be the original X, but Capcom realized that that idea might not send the best of messages towards the Mega Man X fans. Yeah, these heroes that have been best friends and colleagues for the past 100 years, watch them fuck each other up. This is the only game in the Mega Man Zero series in which it is possible to complete the entire game without Seru's weapons. In the Japanese versions of Mega Man Zero, when the bosses are split in half, large splashes of red oil will spill from them. However, they were removed to just the characters' mechanical insides to avoid looking too much like blood. Mega Man Zero is the first game in the history of Mega Man to not have the main playable character as a version of Mega Man. Mega Man Zero was a great game. It was one of the better games on the Game Boy Advance. The series definitely got better with time. I think that Zero 4 is the best in the series, but that's just me. But the first game is not bad at all. Sure, it's got some flaws with things like its difficulty, but it's not a bad game by any means. But what do you think about Mega Man Zero? Let me know in the comments. What am I rizzing for? I feel embarrassment from that, and I'm the only one in the house.